Hello bassists looking to audition into Philharmonia. This is part 2 of your practice audition video. The first video is your scales and arpeggios, and now we are looking at Night on Bald Mountain. There are 4 sections to Night on Bald Mountain. You have them listed. So let's start right at the top of the piece with your first section. Okay, so the left hand mapping. You got to do this on the E string. Otherwise, you're shifting back and forth. It just doesn't make sense on any level. So you put 2 on A, make sure it's in tune, and let's do it. So the beginning. So slow tempo, 1 and 2 and. Okay, that's really straight ahead. And I apologize in advance. This bass is limited in several ways, and one is on the E string. It just crunches quickly. I'm not getting the sound I want, but you can do that with your basses. So just imagine. But you've got articulations to deal with. You've got a pianissimo. You've got a crescendo. Luckily, this is very easy on the left hand, but make sure the bow knows what it's doing through that section. Okay? I'm going to leave that there. Let's go to the next section. Okay, the whole note F, up bow. 1, 2. Two, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Also, very straight ahead. Sorry about the A string on this bass is the worst, so it squeaks and crunches sometimes. That's what happened with the sforzando. Yeah, it just doesn't speak. Okay, but the key is making sure you get the accents in here on these and then tenutos, so connected, and then our accent. And I would do 4 there. I did 2 before, but do 4 because you're here. And then now there's that half lift. 2, 1. But the key here, is to not go to lift, half lift, 2, half lift. It's sustained as long as you can. 2, 1, and at the last possible minute, reset, halfway back. Okay? It keeps the sustain, but it gets you closer to the frog to get the bite on the sforzando that you need. All right, the rhythm is all pretty straightforward. Make sure you can clap and count, and pluck and count it, of course. All right, that's the first section. The next section, down to D. Now you have to pluck and count this one. So let's do that together. There's that page turn, but I'm just going to memorize what's there. It's not hard. Okay, so I think I got that. Okay, so we're at letter D, and let's pluck and count this. So 1 and 2 and 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 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Okay? Just make sure you can do that with a metronome clicking. You can find your tempo. We were just at 1 and 2 and about 58. Right? That's fine. A little faster is fine too. It wasn't that fast at all. Okay, so let's look at some of the details involved with the left hand and the bow here. Straight ahead until the bottom line. Definitely start in third position on that A. First note of the bottom line, the A there, to set up this. Now be really careful, make sure you go to a B flat here. Okay, so half, and then first position. Okay, so that's the note that people miss a lot, is that B flat at the end of the second measure in from the bottom line. So make sure that's taken care of. Also make sure you get a good forte and pianissimo, and then start to crescendo, and then build and build mezzo forte, and building and to and okay. The other thing that's tricky in here is this syncopated bowing you have at the last two measures of the page. This is easy if you just separate the bows and you go, right? But when you add this syncopated bowing in, this is what it's like without the left hand changing notes. It's with a metronome clicking, da, 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 yeah, it's this. It's very tricky on the bow. If you add the notes, it's okay. So the key here is to make sure, first of all, that your left hand can just do it. So separate the bows and just single bows to do that. And then the other thing is just do the bow. You can do it on C, you can do it on open A, whatever, but it would be 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1, right? And getting the bow able to do that with a metronome clicking. Da, ba, ba, ba. I did it before. Let's do it a little, we're at a faster speed. It makes more sense there. So try it here. This is 66. 1 and ready and okay, and then you work it up. Let's try 72. Right, and then you add the left hand. First you do the left hand separate. Slow that down a little. All right, and let's try that. All right, then you do the bow separate. And then you put them together. 1 and 2 and. Okay? If you break it down like that, it makes it a lot easier to play that well. All right. I think that covers just about everything between D and E. Let's move to the third section, which is G to the double bar after G. Okay, so again, G, really straight ahead, right? Let's make sure our rhythm is secure, though. So we'll just do a quick clapping count of these first few measures, right at G. So 1 and 2 and 1 E and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Right, so just making sure you understand how that triplet fits in. The triplet adds up to equal a quarter note, which is the first half of beat 1. So 1 and 2 and 1. That's all that is. All right, so let's bring this in back to G. 1 and 2 and 2 and 2 and okay, and then the next section. This is actually easier on the bass than it is the cello. A lot of third position. Let's go through it slowly. 2 E and So besides the last 3 notes, and then those middle 3 notes, there is, it's all third position, right? So let's just go through it and we'll talk about it. Now right here, you're just shifting back a half step for 3 notes, and then back. Third position, straight ahead, and then the same deal, back to third position, right? And then you just work that up with a metronome, and that should be pretty solid as well. All right, the final section is, get to it, letter U to V. All right, this is fun too. So I'm just gonna play through it and we'll talk about it. So here it is, 1 and 2 and 1. Okay, mostly very straight ahead. So, back at U. Slowly. Back to first position. And there's back a half step. And then back to third. I would go to a 1 here. And back a half step to 2. And then first. Same deal. Back a half step to 1 and 2. So you can change that 2-4 to a 1-2. And then back to half. And you stay there. It's all. Okay? So that's all that is. This is pretty straight ahead. What I'm going to do now, though, is get closer to in-tempo. I'm going to play each section kind of like a performance moment here. In fact, you know what? Better idea. I'm going to create a performance video just so you don't have to wait till the end of this one to get to that. So it'll be closer to in-tempo with all of the details that need to happen. The crescendos, the decrescendos, and the articulations as well. Okay. Have fun practicing and look for the performance video.